Hi there, thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be going through a follow-up of the drawer set that I'm making. This is the frame that the drawers are going to sit in. I've got the drawers completed. I'll show you those in a minute. I wanted to show you on here, in case you're not familiar, this is using up tab dividers. A lady on Marketplace was giving these away, and I got there's 3 and 8 tabs, and in total I got 10 boxes, which is about 2,500 tab dividers. And you can see they're basically just 2,500 sheets of cardstock, okay, which is a lot. And I've already made ephemera folders. I made 2 I'm calling them like Happy Mail books, like Happy Mail address books to keep track of. And I've got videos on all of this. I have a playlist on DIY tab divider series, okay? And so this is part 2 of making a drawer set, okay? And I showed you the construction of the drawers in the last video. And today we're doing the frame. And I was going to show you, but this is the third try of this video, but whenever I just added a 3-inch band folded in half, so it's 1.5 inch, a band to these shelves to straighten them because they were like bowed real bad. And I wanted to show you that you can see here in here that just adding another layer gives you strength, and it straightens it. You can see how this box is pretty square, okay? And I'm going to show you the drawers. Now, I ended up putting this in the middle. I had it designed different, but this is what I ended up doing. So I did complete all of the drawers, and this shows you those strengthening bands that I've added to all of them. I did go ahead and spray this with alcohol ink that I've made from Sharpies because I am going to use, I have a bunch here. I was going to use red paper, and then I decided to go ahead and use unicorn napkins because I have so many. And I think it's more forgiving than paper, and they're bigger, and a 6-inch paper wouldn't be quite big enough. So I'm going to decoupage all of this with these unicorn napkins. So then, just to make it more forgiving, I went ahead and just sprayed them with pink ink spray. And where there's glue, it doesn't quite take it. But this is just to give us a background for the napkins. So it's okay if it didn't. You could have sanded it a little bit maybe. So I just gave them a rough spray with pink alcohol ink, okay, that I made with Sharpies. So we're going to decoupage all of this next. This is the 3-inch box that I made, showing you the construction of the drawers. And then I decided to go ahead and finish it and spray it, and then I'll use it in this drawer because the bookmarks that I'm making, this drawer was a little bit too big for them. So the one I made online, on the last video, is this one. And this drawer will go right here. And then we've got drawers here and here, and here, and here. So there's our drawer set. Okay? Now if something looks wonky, you might need to turn it around. I'm going to do the next video showing all of the drawer sets I've already made. Now these aren't perfect, but they're DIY storage, and I've custom made it so it will hold exactly what I want, because I want something to hold. Now that's too big for there, so we'll have to switch it. Some stuff's not perfect. It's okay. So those work together, and this one works together. Okay. So they're not perfect, but they'll serve their purpose, because all of these things will fit just right in them. We've got journaling cards, bookmarks. I don't have anything for that. Envelopes and tags. So you can see all of these tags that I'm making. I've never had a stash before. So what I've done is I've gone through and used up all of my scrap. And then I've made, and these are scrap file folders. And then this is wallpaper. This is a piece of, what is it when you press out? I can't remember the word. And then I put lined paper on the back. And like I said, that's wallpaper. And I've just gone through and used all my scraps. I've done some piecework, you know, maps and pages, and you know, I've just gone through and used lots and lots of scraps to create all of these tags and journaling cards and bookmarks and envelopes. I did do a video showing how I made, I think I ended up making about 50 envelopes. And these just go by the size of piece of paper you have. You don't need a template. I show you the basic structure of an envelope and how to make a couple cuts, and then fold it, and you've got perfect envelopes. And so this project, I still need to sew around all this. I still need to embellish it. For the most part, for the base of everything, I use scraps. And then I needed something to hold all of this when I'm done. So that's why I decided to make this box. And it's going to be just right for everything I need. So, and it's not perfect. It definitely looks homemade. But number one, it's using up all of these tab dividers. And number two, it's going to hold my project using all scraps. And number three, it's going to be covered in unicorns, and that makes me very happy, right? So, I am going to do the next video showing you all of the drawer sets I've made. And, because I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, this is my 4th set, I believe. And the next thing I'm going to show you right now is how to do handles. Okay? So let me go get a piece of wire and I'll be right back. You can use any kind of floral wire for this, is what I use. And then I'll just pick this one, okay? And I can't do all of the handles yet, because that'll be a finished project, but I'm just going to show you how I do it. Okay, so I have picked out different big gold buttons, look, for the handles. Aren't these fun? The handles are all going to be different, okay? And there was one that wasn't quite flat enough on the back. Which one was it? Nope, none of these. I got this one. I guess that's extra. I might not need it. And then I've picked out 15 small buttons. I just picked plain white, or it doesn't matter. Okay? So I'm going to, let's see. This big one will go in the biggest drawer. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, so we need 2 for the front and 1 for the back, and I will show you why. I'm going to pretend all of these have 2 holes. I just picked out an ugly one for the back of the drawer, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to pretend all of these buttons have 2 holes. Okay? So this drawer, let me make sure. And again, this is a finished project. You wouldn't do the handles till the end, but I'm going to go ahead and show you. So we're at 6 3/4, so after that is 3/8. 6 and, no, it's closer to 6 and, so 6 1/2. Okay, we're going to say 6 3/4. So 3 3/8. So there is our center. And then what we're going to do, and they're all 5 inches high, I think. They're 5 1/8, so it's 2 1/2 in. So it's just past 2 1/2. Okay, so you need to find your center. Okay, and what we're going to do is punch 2 holes. Like I said, some of these buttons have more holes. We're just gonna pretend they have 2 because I don't want to deal with 4 buttons. Just a bit on the outside of center. You want to leave enough space to give yourself some strength, because if you put these too close together, there won't be any strength. So you need to leave a bit of space between these. Okay, do you see what I did? So what we're going to do is we're going to stack 2 on the inside, and what that will do, and then my finished button has a flat back. There were some, do you see how that back on there is flat, that top flat edge? You want a flat back. You do not want a rounded back. Some of the buttons had a pretty rounded back, so I had to pick different ones, okay? So what we're going to do is just get a piece of wire. You need, like, I don't even know how much it is. Okay, we're going to say 5 inches. Okay? Whoops. Sorry. Trying to get something out of the thing. Okay. Ish. 5 inches. Doesn't matter. Okay? So, what we're going to do is we're going to fish this through. And these are how I do all of my handles on the drawers. And then you can see here I did a couple of buttons behind a bigger button, and that makes it stick out and look like a handle. Okay, and those I did, you know, buttons with holes, but this I'm doing a button with a back shank instead of holes. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to fish this up through. We need a back piece, a back button for stabilization to take off the pressure, because if we were to fish this through this, it might like tear or something. So this will just give it more structure. Okay, you don't want to use one that's too tiny. I have a lot of buttons. My mom loved buttons. Okay, so I'm going to show you. On the back piece, I like it a little bit bigger in diameter than like on the front. Doesn't matter. But a tiny one, I have lots of tiny ones. You know, you can't use the tiniest one because that won't give it as much structure. This gives it a good flat edge to sit on. And you'll see what I mean in a minute, okay? So this is just going to be our back strength piece. Doesn't matter. And I picked ugly ones for that. Okay? And then on the front, I just picked clear or white or whatever. Okay. So we're... Okay? Now, a trick to hold this while you're working. You can just clip that. Okay? And then that will hold it while you're working. Okay? On the front. So we're, like I said, we're just going to pretend these back pieces have 2 holes. Because I don't want to deal with 4 holes. Okay? So we're just running them through a hole. Okay? Then we're going to run it through this shank piece. Right? Okay? Then we're going to run it through 2 more holes. It doesn't matter if you do them across or diagonal. It doesn't matter. Because you're just giving it strength. You're just giving it distance. Is all you're doing. Okay? So we're going to... Okay, so we've got it run, and that came unclipped. No, it didn't. Okay. So what we did was we ran it through the back. We brought it through the 2 buttons, through the shank, back through the 2 buttons. And I'll show you. Do you see all that? And what those buttons are going to do is just serve as a spacer to pull that, to hold this out like it's a knob. Okay? Since it is such a big shank, you probably could just get away with 1. I don't know if I've done it like this yet or not, but we're getting through it. It's okay. And then on the back, we're going to run it through the button on the back. And there. Okay. So, we're going to pull on this and get it centered. It'll just feed through. It's fine. And granted, I'm not doing the buttons till it's done. I'm just showing you how it's done. And then you just twist this inside. You just twist it. And then you can see, now that sits out like a knob. How cool is that? And it looks great. And like I said, I will show you in a minute, or I mean in the next video, all of the different drawer sets I've made. But that's how we're going to do these. And like I said, I've got all different buttons to use. So that's how you make a knob. And then, like I said, if you get a flat back one, it sits a lot flatter. Okay? And like I said, I'm going to cover all this with unicorn. I've decided to go ahead with the Mod Podging unicorn napkins because, number 1, I have a lot, and number 2, I think it'll be pretty forgiving. And I've looked at the patterns, and it's kind of busy, so it will hide all of these creases and lines and stuff pretty well. More so than the red paper. I think the unicorn napkins will be more forgiving. Okay? So that's it. That's my drawer set so far. And I will get this Mod Podged in the next day or 2 and then show you a finished result. And I will also show you the other drawer sets I've made. Like I said, I love DIY storage, so I'm real happy with these. Okay? Thanks so much for watching. Love you. Bye.